Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second day of Twin Star Tourney. Today we have Warrior Seekers against Lobster, and we already set up everything. Um, Lobster did ban Red Church, and Warrior Seekers picked Arms. And so Lobster picked the faction order um, with the Hunter Fafa going first. So here is Seven commentating with Killer Boss. How do you feel about this matchup and this map going in first?
Um, well, I personally am a hater for Arms Factory, but as I've noticed, the round one for Lobster's Hunter is Fafa, and he is known for his amazing spider, and I have heard he
Mm-hmm.
has a strong opera, so um perhaps we're gonna see a bit of controversial hunters in BO1 and Uh, like for example, especially Spider is extremely potent in Arms
Mm-hmm.
Factory.
Yep. As you said, Fafa is very known for his spider. So yes, we might see something, more unexpected, but with the puppeteer, then we can expect something that is more in the meta.
Yep.
We're just waiting on the second ban right now. We see both puppeteer and gardener. So if you think about it, these are more like Goatman bands, don't you think?
Yep.
Or even opera singer, as you just mentioned her.
Puppeteer, Gardener are very standard bans for like the two meta hunters, so we're expecting to see a Kurabado or Goatman here, I think.
Yep,
Um,
I can definitely agree. And we see Antiquarian and Knight. This is the first time I see Knight in this tournament. Maybe it has been picked before, but already we see very strong characters that get global ban. How do you feel about them being picked first?
it's not usual that you throw anti-Karina and Knight out in BO1 against one of the strong hunters because if you get 4K, which is usually what happens in BO1 against those two hunters, it's extremely uh, bad for the survivor that the hunter doesn't need to ban those two characters and has more flexible ban picks in starting BO2. But I'm assuming by the way they're picking, especially with female dancer, they're looking to get at least a tie in this match. Um, the barmaid pick is out of the ordinary, but I'm assuming they are afraid of Ivy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but as I was kind of expecting, we see a Goatman. Now, Goatman and Hullabaloo are these characters that no matter the map, no matter the team comp, are four kill potential hunters. And now we see that they're going to finalize their persona builds. What can we expect from it?
Um, this this comp personally, I feel like it's not much strong against the Goatman, but we see that the barmaid is bringing 12-9, which is I believe flywheel windows. Um, perhaps they have a strategy to make the barmaid first kite and hoping she would
Mm-hmm.
be able to out kite Goatman. But um, in terms of the Goatman side, the easiest target here is in fact barmaid. So I'm not sure what is the
Mm-hmm.
purpose of this barmaid's pick.
Yeah, Barmaid is kind of a weak character, especially against this new meta. You could definitely see her in a round two because you have Hullabaloo and Goatman are so strong, but in round two you have Shadow and Opera, which you might be able to get the drink off with them, but with Goatman I'm not so sure. I think that in this scenario they could have picked I can agree maybe taking the anti first because anti is character that is like perma banned, right? So they may be thinking like, you know what, let's just use her now because we're not gonna get another chance. But I think they should have picked Psych
Yep. Uh,
as yeah.
I think we've I think the staff has made a
Not.
mistake in terms of area selection.
Mm-hmm.
We might have to restart the.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
So we need to restart.
Um.
I think that we need them to let me.
Yeah.
Okay, just gonna get it right now. So okay, I did just communicate to surrender. So there was a little bit of a mistake. We'll be able to fix it. Uh, but I don't personally think that this team comp is too strong, especially because um
Well, surprisingly, the knight is having tied only against the goatman, but
mm,
I think
mm,
I think he's confident that goatman won't chase him, considering the other options are much more are considerably easier than chasing a knight. So
no, I definitely think that. I mean, we usually see Knight as kind of a sub rescuer, right? You don't usually see him as like the single rescuer on a team.
yep.
You can't play him like that maybe in rank, but in competitive it is a bit of a different matter. So we see that they're going to um surrender, and then we'll be able to run it back with everything set correctly.
Fafaga 4 escaped. Let the words be spread. Fafaga 4 escaped.
Yeah. Very very funny actually. Uh, we will be seeing it soon. But yeah. All right. Going back up. Mm. All right. Now we are going to go back in very soon. We're just inviting the few people that we need in here. All right. I'm going to share the stream because it wasn't shared. Um.
Um.
All right. Um. Setting in the. All right. Now that I got this announcement out of the way, back into the game. And we're just gonna be seeing them kind of set up everything again. Alright. So as we were saying before, Knight is kind of the character that you don't usually see in competitive be the only one that has Tide, and even if he does bring Tide, you I don't know if bringing him on Tide only is the correct choice here. But there is also female dancer that is a pretty good pick. If we're talking about like Goatman, you know, she kind of she can help herself with her boxes. Antiquarian, as we know, is a very strong character. Now, I don't know if we can consider her a harasser in this particular match. Well, obviously, yes, but Goatman is a very character to harass against. And
I can definitely see this comp being able to tie against the Goatman, but the survivors would have to play extremely well for that to happen, and um, because other than the barmaid, all three other characters should at least be able to kite like around 3 to 4 cages against the Goatman, and that sets the ground for a tie against the Goatman.
mhm. Yeah, now we are obviously seeing them lock in um, the build once again, which shouldn't be too different. They shouldn't be able to change it since we're restarting. But no, um, it, we didn't see the builds last. I'm sorry, not the builds, the spawns last time because we didn't set it up correctly. But um, what do you think of the spawns? What do you think they're going to be?
Um, Very likely it could be just a cross spawn with knight in the middle and barmaid around the shack. Uh,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
oh,
We see the dancer in middle, which is usually a way to set up boxes in the two palettes, just so you know, create a loop. However, um, in a way, using palettes early against Goatman is kind of a risk because you need to have those palettes up because those are your only resources when you're in the cage. So I wonder how they're gonna play this dancer. It's not a bad pick. I just do not. I need. I kind of want to see. I'm curious to see how they're gonna utilize her support.
I think this this spawn somewhat confuses me because they put barmaid in the area of most vulnerability, but I assume they're expecting Fafa to select top left to lock off
Mm-hmm.
ciphers and perhaps find Fafa probably would not expect the knights to be spawning there either way. Um, but yeah, we shall see how this plays out. Barmaid, there's a strategy of Goatman chasing Barmaid where you just wait until around 80 plus energy and you immediately use 2 cages to kill the Barmaid to
Mm-hmm.
prevent her from healing back to full.
Yeah, and it definitely is a great first target. Um, she did spawn in deep sandbanks. How do you feel about her spawning here actually? And we see the goatman going here to
Um,
her.
she touched the ciphers for just a few moments, but the drink here is oh, Fafa doing a very good job here, waiting until the around the last second of the cage to hit the barmaid so that resentment is up and second cage is available. Uh, barmaid immediately goes down here. Cipher is around, not even a cipher down.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, this is exactly my question for the spawn. It does not feel like a barmaid is supposed to be able to kite in this area, especially against the Ghostman. Um,
Yeah, I feel like having the barmaid spawn in deep sandbags instead of maybe factory could have maybe set her up a little bit to kind of not really do a long kite, but it is Goatman we're talking about,
yeah.
so very hard to deal with. Seems like it will be either a cell or a late rescue. Flywheels and trying to get away, but Fafa does a really nice blink, getting a hit on Antiquarian and going back to the chair. Sorry.
Yep. Forcing female dancer to come rescue, and female dancer takes a hit, is unable to rescue from this position, and they not only have to sell, but have to sell with two people injured in the map. This is looking like it's very hard for Zyra to get back from this, and it's looking like a 4 kill position for the ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Already person that on 5-7, and the dancer gets turret shocked in the middle. Um, this is looking like even getting a one escape here seems almost impossible.
Yep.
And also, she will be going basement.
Um, yeah,
Now, two ciphers have been popped, which means that this is definitely. I mean, the dungeon did spawn, and by the way, Knight got the rescue pretty well. Good prediction, but it seems like he's going to hit the dancer. But they at least are able to get out of basement. Now gets a hit on Knight, and it looks like he will be going down. We have two people down on the ground, and Antiquarian is the only one up, decoding a cipher. But really, at this point, I do not know how you can you can come back from this.
yeah. And there is 3 ciphers remaining, and the uh, total progress done on the 3 cipher is around only 1.3. So like you still need to do around
Mm,
one cipher and around 170% of cipher to even be able to pop. Spots the anti. Just looks like a okay. Oh, very nice
mm.
flywheel, and
Gets
uh,
the rescue.
Goatman is Goatman's hitbox is too large to get into that cage, but baits the
Bucks.
flywheel with the
Mm-hmm.
animation there. Triggers the female dancer again. Female dancer has no self view, and um, yeah,
I mean, at this point, we're seeing the survivors gonna try to do their best to still survive. The knight goes down immediately with this cage. Very nice cages from Fafa here. Um, at this point, the antiquarian heals the dancer, but it is a matter of time because dancer doesn't have self heal, and he probably knows that, considering that she was also
oh,
healing and
patroller.
uses. Yeah, this is gonna be very hard to deal with, and probably gonna, get the kill very soon. Very nice jumps back. But at this point, Dancer doesn't have self heal, Antiquarian is on chair, and Knight, who is the only one standing, is also out of self heal. So at this point, we can probably guess that this is gonna be a 4 kill.
Very well played by Fafa. The survivors never really did have a chance from the start to the beginning, from the start to the end of the match. Uh,
Yeah, it was a very dominating game from the hunter, and now, as we did say before, this is um this is obviously a very expected outcome in round one. Hopefully, the Warrior Seeker's Hunter is also going to be able to get a 4 kill, but this only depends on how the match is going to go.
yep. Um,
So, I mean, at this point, you have arms. It's a very strong survivor. I would say it's survivor-sided map because it's small. It has strong areas very close to each other. Um, I think that the only choice you have here is to bring out uh, a meta pick.
yeah. There's definitely a lot of stress on the Warrior Seeker side, Warrior Seeker's Hunter, to
Mhm.
having to 4K against Lobster Survivor team and on a Survivor sided map. So we are we are expecting to see something of a Hullabaloo or a Ghostman here, to try to even out the score.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. As of right now, um, we have a 5-0 score for Lobster. Now, we'll be waiting shortly to get into the custom and start with the next match.
Yep.
All right, and now you can go up. So, I mean, at this point, the pressure on the hunter side must be very big. I honestly would be so stressed out right now thinking about getting a 4 kill. Like, yes, you may play, um, you know, um, the meta, but still, just imagine having to, um, having to get back on it on the start. I mean, at least a starting point that is like um similar.
Yep. Um,
Now, everyone is here waiting just for everyone to press ready, but yeah, I wonder what kind of picks we will see in this part. Because now, considering they just need a one escape, what kind of strategy can they even go for? Because I feel like I mean, you have you can try and risk going for kind of maybe cipher strategy, but it is also round one. So do you think they will just um try with something like a decoder, or just like a tanky team?
um, I feel like from based on my like knowledge to some of the members on the team that is playing Lobster, they like to play for risks and they like to
Mm-hmm.
usually get a 3 or 4 man escape when they are playing Survivor. So I'm expecting to actually see something like a Prospector or even you know Antiquarian or like something like some harassers, even forwards. But it would seem that they already selected Perfumer and Gravekeeper. Very standard picks, and Perfumer especially to counter the Goatman, but
Mm-hmm.
allowing Hullabaloo to appear. But Hullabaloo does not function well on this map as it does on other maps. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still broken regardless of the map. It's just I think he would rather prefer some other map than Arms Factory. Aeroplanist we see. Um, we usually don't see Aeroplanist in BO1 just because of Goatman, but yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
definitely curious to see. Uh, they must have a speciality with Aeroplanist, and if an airplane is really good, they can actually outshine
Mm-hmm.
a Goatman with their
Mm-hmm.
controls.
Mm-hmm. And looking at Aeroplanist against Goatman has been played before in COA qualifiers. I don't remember for which server, but it was actually a pretty good outcome. And he did free Cypher Kite. It all depends on the control you have, obviously, but if you're able to have a really good knowledge on this character, you can get a good kite against a Goatman. But I do think that Hulubu is probably the better choice here.
Yep. Yeah, as you can see, the last pick Psychologist and the first pick Perfumer, Gravekeeper, all of them are extremely tanky characters. So, um, and if you're really asking for a character in the Broken Hunters to shed off tank, it's usually Hullabaloo Overcoat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now just waiting on the persona builds. Probably gonna see full kite builds. We might even see all three of them except for the Gravekeeper all bring full kite just because they need a one escape.
Yep. Yeah, and as expected, the Hullabaloo is does show up. Uh,
So yeah, I mean you can bring Goatman into the Steam Comp, but I think that Hullabaloo just works better because you can kind of play against the Perfumer. And even then, if you go after the Perfumer first, and even if she's able to perfume, you still get presence and also he gets hit so quickly. So really, um,
yeah,
it's a tough pick.
yep. Um, as you see, it's a common spawn for this for Arms Factory with three people in middle and one person to the middle right.
Mhm.
We see Motion on Perfumer bring Flyway Windows, spawning in a
Um,
dangerous area trying to first kite.
They also have triple tide, which is very peculiar, but I can definitely see how this would make sense. Um, so
Interesting.
I mean, mm, it's not like I mean, it is gonna be hard to rescue still because it's a hollow blue, but um, yeah, with this pawn, I think that the way they set up the way they set up themselves was indicating that they wanted the perfumer to get the first chase because obviously when you do this kind of spawn, you usually want to block off factory so that the survivor doesn't go kite there because it's the strongest area of this map.
Yep. Um. Yeah, I'm interested into. I'm actually really curious as to their traits, and I want to see how triple Tighterner really works in their favor.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
What?
we see already that he's going towards middle where Gravekeeper is actually might go into a shovel early to avoid getting chased first. Yep.
This is actually a very smart move because out of the four characters here, Gravekeeper is the only one that doesn't have any talent for any special
Mm-hmm.
talent for like kiting, and you know for sure Gravekeeper usually only brings and by we're speaking, he's already taking a lot of colors. This looks like almost
Mm-hmm.
an insta kill.
Yep.
Um,
Already doing a great job.
yep, he is buying as much time as he can, but I think he's gonna go down here unfortunately very quickly. Oh, but he's
He does
able to
go
get into
into
shovel.
shovel.
Uh,
Already getting first presence. He does have insolence, it seems, so this will be a very quick down. Now, they still have double tide, but the problem is that this isn't exactly what they were hoping for.
yep. Um, well, although the although the kill was of the usual and very good, I think a very good target selection. The Cypher is looking pretty fast with two Cyphers about to pop and the Cypher on 80%.
Mhm.
This is looking like a tie if the Great Peeper isn't able to rebound, and if the Great Peeper, oh, is the Hunter here to switch the targets? The Hunter
Yep.
is just switching targets.
Yep. Psych gets killed already, but she still has her stress. So I wonder how they're going to decide to get the stress because even if she has stress, we need to remember that it is a hollow blue. So would you rather, go for a tide rescue and ensure that there's 20 seconds of not rebound but time, I would say, or just go for no tide rescue so that the psych is full health.
Oh, finds the Gravekeeper again. The Psyche is rescued. Sorry, the Gravekeeper goes into the shovel. And why? Hmm.
I mean, um, looking also at the Cypher progress, they're actually doing well, better than before. Griffkeeper trying to buy as much time as possible. Already doing a better rebound than earlier, but dying. And looking at the Cypher, they're actually doing really well. The last Cypher is at 50, but it seems to be the one in the middle, so this might be a bit of an issue for Lobster team.
Yep. Um, we can see two people moving towards middle. Aeroplanus does have tide, perhaps trying to get, wanting to get Gravekeeper out of here. So they can finish last cipher.
Mhm. Yep. Trying to get away. The last cipher at 70% might be able to actually not able to survive until the cipher is burned, but getting away from it just so that you know they they actually are able to pop before he
Yep.
dies, but he goes on anyways.
Uh, he got terror shocked with the
Yeah.
window, unfortunately.
Yes, it was very unfortunate. He does switch to TP, which now does give them a tight position probably, so because they will open the other gate. He doesn't have detention, so even if this psych gets hit, he is going to be able to get another hit. And guys, in on the gate, it seems like Aeroplanus is opening that gate. He doesn't have tide anymore, unfortunately, though. So I wonder if they're gonna take the risk. They might, just because of the fact that this you know um, well, the hunter doesn't have detention,
Yep.
but it seems like they are going to take the tie, and it's already a really good result for them, who are going to win round one.
Yep. So it is a 5 point lead for Team Lobster, and
It's 7-2 actually. Sorry.
yeah.
Um, now we are in a position where Lobster also has the map pick this time. So again, it's an advantage in their position. I feel like when you're going into rounds now, if you think about it, it's almost like round two map picks matters more than round one. Because in round one, considering the meta, you usually just go um for maps that both teams can go well in. Usually, we see a lot of maps over and over. Like we've seen Arrow sleeping a lot round one, and then in round two is when things usually change. Like if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. Because the majority of the hunters in round one isn't really the two meta hunters in round one doesn't really care much for the map selection itself. It cares more about the comp. And for that reason, really, the map selection in round one doesn't really matter much unless you want to play
Mm-hmm.
something that's non-meta.
Yep. So I feel like in a way, losing the coin flip and getting the map pick at round one. I'm sorry, getting the map pick at round two isn't really negative. Actually, I think it's quite good.
Yep. Um, yeah, it feels hmm,
Mm. I mean, right now we have to see, but already we're on a lead of not 5 points, which can be covered, but it all depends on this next round.
yep. Um, with a 5 point lead, I think Lobster will want to play safe, allowing instead of going for a win. But knowing them, they probably wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm. No, definitely not.
Regardless, it would be a lot of stress for the Warrior Seeker side to even try to even the score itself because um although starting round two there is Opera Singer and Ivy, which is all very strong hunters still, but um since Lobster side has map pick advantage, they can easily just pick a map that is bad for Opera Singer, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Sacred even, and then counter Ivy, then pick a comp that counters Ivy, and now you have no meta hunters really. Well, the four, really broken hunters are basically locked away from you or would take a really hard time to play. And for a team
Mm-hmm.
that already has the points advantage, this is definitely something that is
I
uh
mean,
oh,
when we see a team pick hospital, it usually means that they're confident in their survivors, in their hunter side, because a hospital is probably the strongest map for survivors. So if you bring hospital as a map, that means that you're confident that your hunter can at least, at the very least, get a tie, and the survivors will get a win. So it is definitely a possibility for for Team Lobster.
yep. um we're seeing a substitution on Lobster side, substituting substituting Persica as the new captain instead of AWIW.
Yeah. Very 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 sudden.
Um,
But yeah.
so AWIW got fired. He is no longer the captain of the team anymore.
Yeah. So right now we are going to be getting soon, I think. Waiting on the WS map ban. I wonder what they're going to go for. And personally, if I was in their position right now, the map that I would ban is actually hospital,
Yep,
because if you're it, I mean, looking at how risky this team usually plays, you would wanna ban something like hospital so that they have less of a chance of having a really strong survivor side.
yep,
Especially considering that right now, I mean, getting a tie against Hollow Blue is a bit of a shocker, to be honest. Like, it is still a good result for the hunter, you know, but a 4 kill obviously could have been better.
yep.
So, um,
Um,
at this point,
because of the dominance Fafa had in the first half of BO1, I think. Also, tie is not a bad result, but as a Hula Bula or Goatman, especially in BO1, it's actually something. It's actually not that great considering you're only tying in BO1, but
mm-hmm.
you know as you cannot say well the Survivor side played very well in that map. Oh, and we're seeing a Leo ban from the side of Warrior Seeker. Leo's memory.
uh,
And X expected, Lobster immediately picked
yeah,
Hospital. Um,
yep. Definitely not unexpected. Also, I don't remember when was the last time, but I think I've seen Fafa play Soul Weaver before in this map. I think that they should ban her. just because it's Fafa we're talking about, and he's just so used to this character, so that he even plays Soul Weaver in hospital, and just is still so strong.
Yep. Where is it?
So it seems like WS Hunter will be going first against Lobster Survivors. Um, I mean, at this point, it's kind of hard to. I mean, if this team already had an advantage, going into a map like Hospital might not be the best for WS side.
Yep. Hospital is known to been where survivor side the map. It could.
Mm.
I mean, it's hard to say what will the if the hunter is able to get a 4K in this map, maybe then there's a chance for the rest survivor side to regain control and get maybe at least a tie or above on this map,
Mm-hmm.
even against Fafa.
Yeah. Now getting into the custom, we will be inviting everything. So
Mm.
all right, so it seems like everybody is almost in. Um, Now, this hunter is playing first. I don't really know what they play, but we probably we should see something that worked. I mean, if you need a 4 kill in hospital, what could you possibly play? I mean, what would you want to play in this map?
Mm, for me personally, Hermit is a very good choice in hospital,
Yep.
or let alone most control characters, like with example of Ivy. Just because
Mm-hmm.
the map is very unfavorable for most of the chase-oriented hunters, and
Yep.
in contrast, the control hunters does a little better.
Yep. Even Clerk, except Clerk is kind of this character that gets countered by Harass, so I guess it would depend more on the team comp. But right now we'll see very soon um how this is going to go.
We're seeing forward and a psychologist ban. I'm surprised that Hunter decided to ban forward, and server side decided to ban Shadow and letting out the Goatman. Interesting. Um,
So right now, looking at the forward ban, I would say that this. I mean, obviously they can go for the prisoner because chasing in hospital is actually horrible. Now, um, this, as I said, as you said, is a map that if you're gonna play hunter, control hunters are probably the best option you have. So, hermit, shadow, cleric, possibly even sculpture isn't bad, but at the end of the day, still a strong survivor set map. Enchantress and doctor, um, this is
Interesting choices.
I've I've seen this strategy before in obviously in rank, and it's definitely something very annoying to handle.
Yep. Uh, There was, I think, attempt made in and last pick Novelist. Novelist must be the rescuer. Perhaps would bring Tide against the the Ghostman. I'm sorry.
Mhm. I feel like this is gonna be this team comp that is gonna have one person the code and the other two supporting the person that is that unsure. I feel like this is the strategy they're trying to go for at this point.
Yep, it definitely feels like uh this feels like a bait for Ghostman because Ghostman um if the doctor is able to have someone harass for her, then um and she selects someone somewhere dangerous, Ghostman is really hard to kill the doctor in reasonable amount of time, and
Mm-hmm.
doctor he heal up. Uh, yeah, I have seen this strategy before, especially against the Goatman, but the hunter may not play Goatman, and against this comp, I personally, oh, never mind. I was gonna say I
I mean,
personally would enjoy a wax artist more than a Goatman because it's more suffering. Um,
yeah, the issue with, like, for example, picking Hermit here is that the Enchantress would get free stuns, even if she's not the one, um, you know, kiting. The Doctor can get healed. Then you have Novelist, who is, I mean, since he got, like, a little adjustment, he's also been better. And then, obviously, you have the Prisoner, the decoder of the team, which is gonna be very annoying. Um, I don't I don't know how to feel about this because yes, you are in hospital, but still you are against a goatman.
yep. The comp itself doesn't. Oh, and the triple tide as we see again, very peculiar.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just very surprised to see this.
Yeah,
um,
it's
I mean, we see, as you said, the triple tide on Enchantress, Prisoner, and Doctor. They probably expect the Prisoner to not get chased because he's in hospital, and even, I mean, at the end of the day, no, even if you have Goatman, chasing in hospital is just horrible. So probably putting him on tide for that reason, and I don't know why Novelist is the only full type one. They were probably expecting the Hunter to spawn Shack, maybe, but because then you would push the novelist um to the corner. Um, it has a very interesting name, as we all know.
yep.
Yeah, so I guess that's what they were trying to do, but then uh, they will lose one tide in the process, but they still have the kiting ability.
Hmm. Well, this is definitely a special strategy you usually would
Mm-hmm.
never see in tournaments, and I'm excited for it really.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
We can see the Goatman here immediately started and going after Enchantress. The Enchantress has Flywheel and Tide. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we can see the Goatman here is actually only running Detention and a bunch of smaller trades.
Yeah, but that is very unexpected. Has a max poly I
Yep.
think. Yes. That's not that's not a bad strategy. Enchantress already has a stun to work with if necessary, which we might be seeing soon. There we go. Waiting at the pilot and getting the stun. Already two ciphers are at 50%, one at 20. With prisoner probably helping the highest cipher to the code a bit faster.
Yep. Using a stack here, I think, is not the correct move because yeah, well, not only you will be able to get a free hit here regardless, but hard to say. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
the hint. Go ahead.
So we noticed that she has a free stun that she might use anytime soon, but decides to keep this free stun and goes for the blink and gets the down. At three ciphers left, one cipher at 50% and the other one at 9. But I mean, at this point, it's not. It was a pretty good guide, and considering everything, Enchantress still has the triple stun.
Yep. So she is definitely able to rebound if the rescue was good. You can see the doctor already made her way here and is hiding to not show any, uh, not show her location. And the other two ciphers are currently being worked on. This cage is useless because if you're putting a cage so close to the
Mhm.
oh, so
It's a hit on Enchantress for full presence, but she does have a free stun, free stack she's gonna use very soon, most likely.
yep.
And we see it happen. Probably gonna destroy the, yes, the cage. Yep. And the Cypher progress is already looking great.
Oh,
Oh,
Palisson from the doctor. Are they trying to harass? Oh, this is a
hmm
strategy with Enchantress the Doctor. And, like you usually see this in rank, but only tournaments. And but I guess against Ghostman this could work. I'm unsure as to
hmm
what
definitely.
exactly is
And
going on.
and I think we see the novelist coming in as well. Last Cypher is being not being worked on, but will be anytime soon, and gets a hit on the
Oh, and
doctor
the
now.
cage just as she was swinging, the cage itself breaks, and the Doctor did not die immediately from that swing. And the last cipher is at 40%, although nobody has a borrowed time on their side.
Yep.
So the switch on the novelist against the Doctor takes a hit again.
Mhm. Doctor is healing and will take a hit, but the Cypher is already at 70% at this point. They are about to pop just anytime soon at this point. Probably gonna have the Doctor take a hit, just so that when the Cypher pops, they'll probably be able to, you know, get the hit. Now, he's trying to go for the Cypher, but it's already primed.
Yep. And this is a three escape for the survivor side because the hunter doesn't even have trump card. Wow, I
Yep.
am definitely
Uh,
surprised by this outcome.
yeah, it definitely is. Now, you also have the fact that Fafa will play next, most likely, and well, this might actually even be a escape, but it seems like not everybody is there.
Yep. Oh, baits the. Oh, unfortunately so. But
It's it seems like not even they were expecting the government to only bring um, the tension, which might be the reason why they were different gates.
yep.
But yeah, at this point,
It's
they got the one escape, so a free escape most likely, so they will just get out.
are they okay? They are leaving. For a moment, I thought they were going for four escape. I was about to say.
Yes, I thought so too, but I guess that um, you know,
Yep.
honestly, it was just a hard team comp. It was made exactly to be played like that, and it's just so annoying.
Yeah. I very well played from the lobster side. And well, this is definitely a new and interesting strat, we will say.
Definitely. I don't know if it's a strategy that you can really see happen in a real match, a real tournament, but it is definitely a strat to keep in mind. And they had the chance because they had the advantage, so they were like, you know what, we have the chance to risk it, so we might as well. Um,
Yep,
so yeah.
they had the advantage, and they are not afraid to use the advantage to try some things that you know. Okay. Uh, yeah. What's your comment on that match? What do you think about the comp?
Um, I mean, the comp already from the moment I saw the Enchantress and Doctor, you have to think about it. You want to go for the Enchantress, that's what happens. The Doctor is gonna keep on healing and healing and healing and healing. So what you have to try and do is try to get the hit on Enchantress through the Doctor, which obviously wasn't easy, especially the because they had the two pilots to work with. If you go after the Doctor, this happens, but with Enchantress supporting and taking hits and then charging stuns. And then if we chase the Novelist, Novelist had full kite, and the Doctor could have done the same thing with the two Enchantress. So maybe the best option would have been chase the Doctor, but even then, it would have been very hard
Yep.
for the Hunter in any case. And obviously, choosing the prisoner just wasn't an option. So it's definitely a team comp that was made thinking about this specific map because you can't really risk this much in any other map. You can really only do this in hospital.
Yeah. Um. Huh.
Yeah, it's definitely it's it's very annoying when you see the Doctor just keep healing in front of you,
Yep.
and then if you don't hit her, she's just gonna heal. But if you do hit her, you're gonna have to change target. That's why maybe choosing the Doctor again was probably the best option for them. But um, it was so hard either way. I mean, probably should have planned this a bit better around the Doctor. Like the moment they saw the Doctor, maybe should have brought Peepers, Goatman, and go for her. Because we, if we know that there's a prisoner, there's no way the Doctor is gonna spawn middle, right?
Yep.
I would have just probably played into the Doctor and just bring Peeper trump card with detention, obviously.
Hmm. It's I want to comment on the strategy as being bold, but it's very interesting. The
Mm-hmm.
I would say, especially with the doctor self-healing, like just directly in front of the goatman, it's applying a lot of pressure on the side of the
Yep.
hunter. And sometimes in tournaments, that pressure really gets to you more than anything else. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Before the end game, because nobody had borrowed time in that match, there was very much of a chance the goatman was able to kill the enchantress and
Mm-hmm.
you know decipher pops, but not being able. So the goatman was had a chance to tie him, but
Mm-hmm.
I think the stress got to him really, and
Yes,
he wasn't able to,
definitely.
fight.
And yeah, when you're in the situation that I mean, if you think about it, when you're picking hospital as a survivor, you're probably, I mean, if you have that much of an advantage, I probably think that expecting survivors to bring full sui in the team is kind of very high possibility.
Yep.
Now, considering Fafa, do you think they should just go for the Soul Weaver ban at this point? Because I mean, you he still has Opera and Soul Weaver, which may not be sorry, not Soul Weaver and Shadow, which not may not be as good in this map, but will probably still be able to get a tie.
Um. Well, you see, the thing is, this match, the Sarai Lop WS requires a four-man escape to even continue to the third round. So at this
Mm-hmm.
point, I am not really sure what the Survivor side can play or do to really change the outcome. I mean, but however, this is hospital, so um, I would actually suggest allowing the Soul Weaver and banning some
Mm-hmm.
banning Hula Blue or Goatman just so that because Soul Weaver in the end it's although it is Fafa, but Soul Weaver in the end is a character that is on no whose character level is not on the same power as as a
Mm-hmm.
global lower Goatman. So it's more
And yeah.
realistic sometimes to for escape. So we were also, albeit really unrealistic, but then global. We can see so we
Mm-hmm.
were banned here, however, and Survivor selected composer and first officer. Um, Interesting choices with and Fafa banning Fire Investigator, sorry, Fire Investigator,
Mm-hmm.
looking like threatening for Opera, it seems, with the Survivor immediately picking Seer, a very solid pick. Seer will likely spawn in middle of this match because for a really good harassment, and Fafa banned Entomologist as the last pick uh, to prevent any further supports from the Survivor side. Now, personally, if I am from the Survivor side, I need to for escape, I will select something that is of a harasser here. But last selection as a toy merchant is also very good on this map.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for escape and the survivors either will need to out kite Fafa or have multiple tides in this comp. Um, it would be very hard for the for the for escape to happen with this comp. I personally believe because
Mm-hmm.
I cannot see any other person than really first officer to take tide in this
Mm-hmm.
comp, able to take tide in this comp, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And also, looking at the Painter van, I mean, if you think about Painter is a very underrated character because of his passive for the chair time not having the half mark is just so strong that survivors usually use it to their advantage, and it's definitely it's definitely hard. I mean, it's a good team comp, but I still think it's a bit weak.
Yep. Ah, Fafa selected Ripper out of all of the characters. Uh, I am most definitely interested in seeing how this will play out. I personally really enjoy Ripper myself, and I must say I am more than interested. But as we can see, the Survivor side has four flywheel. Even first officer brought flywheel, and nobody has borrow time. So
I guess
uh,
they are just going for a similar strategy. Uh,
yeah, uh,
it is hard at this point to, I mean, it is Ripper we're talking about.
there may be a
What?
chance, yeah, but and especially if everyone bring flywheel, they they may
Mm,
have anticipated the Ripper coming.
mhm. I mean, what can you? The only issue they have here is obviously having no borrow time like before. Um, it may put them at least in a tie situation just because of the fact they do not have borrow time. But maybe they will. Um, I don't know. They might be able to bring out the the Forescape,
Yep,
which against this hunter, which who is a very well known hunter, at least in this community, is gonna be very hard. But I would like to say wish the best of luck to both teams playing.
yep. And we will see how this match will play out.
Hmm.
Okay, personally, I just side comment. I really love this skin. The skin is like
It
my
is
favorite
so
skin now.
good.
Yeah,
Yep, definitely a really good skin.
yep.
But anyways, getting back into the match, it seems like he will be going after the toy merchant. Toy merchant setting up a catapult, looking like she's gonna go into birdcage. He's gonna ignore the catapult and just go straight for toy merchant, already using up birdcage palette.
Well, noticing that Toy Merchant here is somewhat disrupting the cipher of the Seer, but Um, oh, looping back to the Seer Cipher and going upstairs, so she might want to use her passive here,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, this is looking like an insta again. Um,
Yep.
wow,
Looking
Flyville
like
is just up.
mhm. Around 100% decoding progress spread out into the ciphers, and it seems like the basement is also there. This might not be the best thing they were hoping for.
Yep. The cipher progress is not much, and someone's already in basements. Not to mention they need a forced survivor escape in this match, so they have to rescue this person. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I mean, you really can't afford to, you know, sell at this point. First officer getting cut off early, using the flywheel but missing
misses the
it.
flywheel. Um, they are, I think, going to sell the toy merchant in basement just and heal up to uh
Mm-hmm. I mean, looking at the situation now, if you sell somebody this early into the game, this is at least a draw position. But considering that he has everything ready, he has skill, and you know, Sirius still has the owl, so he might be able to do a bit of a rebound here. Already getting hit by the fog, changes to blink
and
and gets
immediately down.
down.
I mean,
Very good.
very well played by Fafa, and the seer must not have expected that at all. It was the blink change
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. I didn't even hear the sound of the trump card, and it happened before, you know.
Mm, yep, didn't hear it either. It was so quick that even the seer couldn't really do much to react to it. First officer will probably be using his pocket watch soon. See, he gets close to the seer,
No
gets the
scope.
hit on the seer.
Gets a hit on the seer and a hit on the first officer. The first officer um getting stuck on that window for a little bit. Papa here patiently, not patiently, still got watched by the FO and decides to go back for the seer for the second chair. The cipher is there is still 1 and 20% of a cipher missing. The composer
Mm,
has to come for next rescue, but keep in mind Seer has no borrow time, but has a flywheel and the owl, so
and then I will.
he might be able to get into endgame. And um, Papa here being very detailed and baiting out the composer's flywheel. Composer here trying to dodge the fog blade. At Papa misses the fog blade. Composer is able to rescue here, but um, yeah, Papa is just gonna try to target the Seer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Trying to wait out the owl. They did get four ciphers done. At least they did that much. They're only missing one. I think this was a little bit of miscommunication. The seer could have got the flywheel, but the composer decided to, you know, body
yeah.
block and gets the down.
Hmm. Okay, so with Seer being eliminated and there's one around the 80% of a cipher left, this is looking like a 4 kill position for the Fafa.
Mhm. Not only that, but already WS is already out because they needed at least a tie by free escaping. So not being able to do that, at this point, it's just a matter of you know, um, uh,
Fafa doing a crazy fog strike, but is yeah getting blocked by the obstacle, unfortunately. Um, w- yeah, the if I remember correctly, they would need a 4 person. They will need a yeah, they will need a 3 person escape at the very least to even tie the round and go to
mhm.
round 3. Yeah.
Yep. So already, he's just gonna, take the other kill, and even if the composer escapes at this point, it doesn't really matter because
Yep.
they already are out. But regardless of everything, I would like to say that they did a very good job, and definitely a scary hunter to go against.
Yep.
I think he saw the trail, but decides to stay there probably because he knows the dungeons are actually gonna go for the composer this time,
Doesn't
or
see the
not.
composer. Doesn't see the
Mm,
composer. Misses the footprints just barely, and decides to go back to the dungeon in the chair to check up if the composer's around here.
mhm. I
Um.
mean, at this point, you can just wait until the first officer is dead and wait for the crows, because
Yep.
he doesn't have tinnitus within at least a radius big enough to try and fly to the dungeon. So at this point, it's just a matter of time until he dies. But it seems like he did spot him out on the stairs,
Yep.
or not?
I do not think he did, but with the location of the composer, it is unlikely the composer escapes unless the flywheel has to not only uh oh, the crows showed up. Um.
I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of time waiting
Yep.
to see. Maybe a dungeon change.
I mean that's actually, yeah. You can just wait until 3 minutes until the dungeon changes, and then composer is dead. We're gonna play a waiting game here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at this point we're just waiting for either of them to make a move.
Um, what do
It's
you
like
think
the
about this
composer.
match, really?
Um, I think that it seems like
Oh,
oh wait, he
seems
might.
like Fafa baited the.
Oh,
Oh, misses the hit, but blinks and secures the kill. Unfortunately.
okay. If we have to talk about this match, the issue was that the first Sky, um, there were a lot of kind of small mistakes that made it end very early, especially the basement being there. If they played this better, they probably could have, you know, uh, they could have got the free kill, free escape. Sorry, actually. But I guess that they were really nervous. I mean, I would be too. I'm not gonna lie. When you have to get a free escape as survivor, you don't really see that happen too often when survivors have to get the advantage. But it was Ripper and they had full flywheel, so they did have the potential to do it.
Yep. Um, definitely unfortunate for the real side, and congratulations to Lobster for winning. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
both side has played uh, amazing in this matchup, and this is Kirabos and Seven.
Yep.
Uh, thank you guys
Thank
for
you,
tuning
everyone.
in.
For what?
The next matchup will start with 7:30 to 9:30 of Sky versus Sap for Strikeable.